Welcome, boys and girls. I'm Mr. Randy. I'm so glad to be with you today. I'm sorry I can't be in your classrooms, but I'm excited to have you here with me in the library in this form. Remember, when we read our stories, it's not a passive activity. We just don't sit like this. When we read, we use our eyes, ears, mouth, hands, and sometimes we need to use our whole bodies to read our stories. The first book we're going to read is one of my favorite winter stories of all time, called A Loud Winter's Nap by Katie Hudson. Tortoise had just snuggled in for his long winter nap when... "Hello there, Tortoise," chirped Robin. "Would you like to join our singing class?"
"No," grumbled Tortoise. "I was trying to sleep. Tortoises don't like winter."
"Why not?" chirped Robin.
"They just don't," said Tortoise,
and he packed up and left in search of a quieter home. Tortoise snuggled down in his new bed. He was just about to close his eyes when tap, 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 tap. "Hiya, Tortoise. Would you like to make some ice sculptures with me?" asked Rabbit.
"No," groaned Tortoise. "I was trying to sleep. Tortoises don't like winter."
"Why not?" asked Rabbit.
"They just don't," said Tortoise,
and he packed up again. Tortoise trudged through the snow and found a new napping spot. Again, Tortoise snuggled down in his new bed. He was just about to close his eyes when... thud, pat, thud, splat. "Hey, Tortoise, would you like to play in our snowball fight?" asked Squirrel.
"No," Tortoise said angrily. "I'm trying to sleep. Tortoises don't like winter."
"Why not?" asked Squirrel.
"They just don't," groaned Tortoise. "Why would anyone want to stay awake for winter?" grumbled Tortoise.
He was tired and cold, and he needed to find a quieter place to sleep. Tortoise decided to move to higher ground. Again, Tortoise snuggled down in his new bed. He was just about to close his eyes when...
Da-da-da-da-da-da, bounce, snish, swish.
"Oh no!" cried Tortoise. Kerplunk.
"I still do not like winter," Tortoise said.
Tortoise hiked up a big, snowy hill. Behind a small tree, Tortoise found a flat piece of wood. It was the perfect place for napping. He snuggled down in his new bed and was about to close his eyes when... whoosh! As Tortoise whizzed along, he couldn't help smiling. Maybe winter isn't so bad, he thought. And as he flew off his sled and through the air, he couldn't help giggling. Maybe winter is more than cold and snow, he thought. Whee! And as he slid across the ice, he realized he had been wrong. That night, Tortoise skated, slid, and spun with his friends late into the night. He wasn't tired or cold. Maybe some tortoises could like winter after all. A Loud Winter's Nap. The next story we're going to read is Dragon Was Terrible by Kelly DiPuccio. Dragon was terrible. Naturally, dragons have a bit of terrible in them because they're dragons after all. But this dragon here, super terrible. He stomped on flowers, he played tricks on the guards, and he spit on cupcakes. Who does that? Dragon, that's who. That's not all. He scribbled in books, he threw sand, and he took candy from baby unicorns. Honestly, that's terrible. The king had had enough. "Enough," he said. And he posted this sign: "Brave knights, whoever shall tame the terrible dragon shall be rewarded with a gift. It shall be a nice gift, ye shall like it. His Royal Majesty, the King." But Dragon was here. Dragon came along and put graffiti on the wall. Knights lined up to show off their dragon taming skills. They all failed miserably, and Dragon just grew more terrible. He chased fuzzy yellow ducklings around the moat. He teepeed the castle, and he burned every last royal marshmallow to a blackened crisp. The villagers had had enough. "Enough," they said, and they posted this sign: "Brave people, whoever shall tame this terrible dragon shall be rewarded with a gift. It shall be a nice gift, and ye shall like it, from the king, and we hope you like it, His Royal Majesty, the King. Dragon was here again, says his graffiti. Ordinary blokes and lassies lined up to try their hand at taming the dragon. They all failed, embarrassingly so. And just when you thought it wasn't possible, Dragon grew even more terrible. He popped birthday balloons, he drew funny faces on the drawbridge, and he burped in church, loudly. Honestly, that's terrible and rude. A boy wearing a feathered cap and a look of determination had had enough, only he didn't say enough like you thought he would. Instead, he sketched a story. The next day, Dragon followed a trail of marshmallows to a shady tree where the boy was reading. The boy spied the dragon out of the corner of his eye and began to read aloud in a booming voice. And then the brave dragon swooped in to save the princess, he said. Dragon stopped in his tracks. But the terrible knight pulled out his wicked sword. Dragon pretended not to listen. The brave dragon roared and the fraidy-cat knight trembled in his boots. Dragon pretended to walk away. A crowd began to gather and Dragon took cover in a tree. The boy continued reading, page after page after page, until... Snap! Crash! Dragon landed on the ground with a terrible thud. The crowd gasped. The dragon roared. The clever boy didn't flinch. He reached out a hand to the dragon and said, "Would you like to hear how the story ends? And just when you thought it wasn't possible." Dragon smiled, and he took a seat beneath the tree with the other children. Honestly, that's adorable. The king cheered, yay! The villagers cheered, yay! The baby unicorn and fuzzy ducklings cheered the loudest of all. At long last, the terrible dragon had been tamed. The end. Hey, wait, what about the reward? Oh yes, that. The gift was a new friend, a nice dragon, of course. Dragon was terrible.